An ape, a nerd, and a billionaire. How is a single person able to grow and influence massive audiences? They aren't growing social media pages, but looking at the biggest creators today, we can find similarities in the way they execute. Please don't jump off buildings and fight crime. But maybe you're a creator looking to build an audience so you can quit your 9 to 5. Maybe you work for a company and they need you to grow their social media. Maybe you need to build an audience around a product you're trying to sell. You see, I've been running a creative agency in the gaming space for the past few years, building massive audiences, pioneering editing styles, and creating addictive content for my clients, all using the same principles these fictional characters follow. Now, you don't need to be a talking ape or have superpowers to grow an audience. It's much simpler than you think. That's why if you join me for today's ride, I'm gonna tell you how you can create addictive videos, how you can stand out in today's saturated landscape, and most importantly, how to create your movement. A flowing river takes whatever enters its path along for the ride, motion towards a greater goal. A still river has no purpose. Much like content without a message, your creations are a medium for your message. Have a weak message, and you'll have weak creations. Caesar wanted freedom and peace. Peter wanted to look out for the little guys. Bruce wanted to be a symbol of hope. So all their actions were pushing towards a greater goal. Actions that can help attract new believers. Now, in terms of the real world, the reason you're creating has to be bigger than the self. Contribute to the evolution of humans, and you will be rewarded handsomely. There's two parts to this puzzle, which I'll touch on in a second. Whether you're creating gaming videos, tech reviews, or workout videos, there needs to be a reason strong enough so people can get behind your message. They need to believe in your mission. You can't just say you want to get views, because so do billions of others. Maybe you want to truly help others get better at a certain video game, help turn skinny guys into jacked athletes, because that's a transformation you went through. Tell stories about topics you're passionate about. Now, I'm not gonna tell you to follow your passion, because in reality, nobody cares about your passion unless it's also theirs. This is why you see creators and brands try to create an audience around a topic that nobody cares about and eventually fail. So having a little awareness goes a long way. Now, here's the two pieces to this movement puzzle. The first piece is finding something that you're passionate about, which can also be synthesized into helpful or entertaining videos. The second piece is making sure that what you create is something that people actually care about. Caesar wanted to protect his kind, and the other apes cared because it was for their sake of survival. Spider-Man wanted to protect civilians from harm, so the people of New York cared for their sake of survival. Wait a minute. Batman wanted to protect civilians from harm so that the people of Gotham could feel safe. Their goals were bigger than them. They wanted to protect innocent people. Now let's bring down that scope into the gaming world for an example. Maybe you're a professional player and want to help everyone get better by providing the best educational content on something. Teaching is what drives you. Maybe you're able to really find fun ways to approach the game and tell stories. Feeding off audience energy is what drives you. A lot of the times in my agency, we pre-qualify clients by trying to identify their mission or if we could create one for them. And if I can't see the potential of a powerful movement being created, we usually turn them down. Because yeah, we can get you 1 million views, but for what? A still river has no purpose. Now let's say you've developed your mission and you know exactly what you're creating. How do we get people addicted to your content? First, you'll need to understand dopamine feedback loops. Alright, let me break down the dopamine system as best as I can. I'm not a scientist, but Bill Nye has taught me well. You see, this is your brain. This is outside stimuli. Could be good or bad. A movie, a song, or even drugs. When exposed to a pleasurable stimuli, the brain releases dopamine, telling you to do it again. This system was purely built for our survival back in the day. Hunting for food, which is the action, means you get to eat food, which is pleasure. But in today's age, it's extremely easy to get hooked on a bad stimulus, hence all the addictions you see these days. But what if as value creators, we could create a positive stimulus for viewers, still sparking that dopamine release and keeping them coming back for more, and more? Well, it's quite easy now since we know how the system works. If we have a positive impact on a viewer, they'll come back for more. So helping them solve a problem, helping them have epiphanies, making them laugh, helping them relax after a stressful day, or being a spotlight for interesting topics. All positive stimuli that, if strung along consistently, would get people hooked on your content. You see, Spidey's consistent action was helping people. That was his content, eventually getting people hooked on him. Now, what does this all mean? To form a consumption habit, you need to be putting out your message consistently. The biggest mistake you can make in the content world is to not capitalize on momentum if you're starting from zero. You're not a massive authority yet, so you can't afford for the audience you're building to stop consuming your content because you take 2 months off. Unless that's the interval it takes for you to produce those videos, but even then, that's kind of pushing it. You're essentially giving your audience 2 months to consume other content that's not yours, potentially having them get hooked on someone else's message. Now, this doesn't mean post garbage daily to hit a quota. That's actually worse than not posting at all. Figure out your baseline effort to produce content and increase it over time until you can't anymore, or to a point where the cadence is too long. This channel hopefully will get locked in at 1 video a week once I put a team together, because right now it's just me. Till then, to fill the gap with my messaging, I post short form content on Twitter. Consistency, as cliche as it sounds, is the name of the game, and forming a habit takes time. Now, everyone needs a good brand. So what's yours? Everyone and everything has a brand, even you. What you wear, how you speak, what you think about, your pursuits, your friends, your activities all combine into your brand, your vibe, if you will. When people hear brand, they think too corporate. Nike, Adidas, Coke, Rolex, Porsche. When brand is really just broken down into what you're associated with, and everyone and anything is associated with something. Caesar's actions are associated with sacrifice, strength, and good leadership. We can see that. That's his brand. Spider-Man is always positive, kind, and putting others before him. Hence the your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's his brand. Remember when he got his black suit and started going rogue? Off-brand. So what's yours? What do you stand for? Is your content going to be highly produced and over the top like Mr. Beast? Is your content more relaxed and relatable like Suluk? Maybe it's a mix of both. This is your vibe and identity. When they think of you, they need a clear image in their minds. The image gets clearer by repeated messaging of how you want to be perceived in this world. Continually uploading cinematic masterpieces like Dodford, your brand is now high production, well thought out stories told by a passionate individual. We couldn't tell by just one upload, but as he uploaded more and more, we got the vibe. Combining a powerful movement with repeated actions pushing closer to a bigger goal, and constantly integrating your brand into your content is how you create an unstoppable force, positioning yourself as one of the best in your market. This is how small channels go from good to great. This is how overnight successes start to form. Now, this is something I always do before taking on a client meeting or even a consulting session. You sit with a blank piece of paper and you write. You start asking question after question about what the name, brand, or channel means. What's its purpose? How should their content make me feel? What is their repeated action? Is there a need for this in the market? What platform are we building on? What is their vibe? This can go on for hours as your mind starts thinking of new questions and solving the previous ones you've jotted down. A lot of the time, almost anything can be solved by sitting silently with a pen and paper. So to summarize this entire video, you need to remember to create a movement strong enough that people can get behind it. Identify your repeated actions that can be used to create a habit with the viewer, and think about how you are presenting yourself, channel, or brand to the world. My name is Nishane, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want help speeding up your video editing for your social media pages, check out my presets below. And if you believe in my movement of unraveling the mysteries of social media, branding, and marketing, consider subscribing.